If you guys need help using the MPC software, I now offer live video help sessions via Skype. I cover everything from how to sample inside of the MPC software easily to how to make your own beats from scratch. I also offer help on constructing, arranging, and mixing your own full tracks. So check the link in the video description, and I hope you guys enjoy the video.
What's up, guys? This is the kid DZD, aka the Drink Kang, live from the Dungeon Palace Studios. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning into the video. Thank you guys for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. If this is your first time with us, join the fam, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss out on another video. Today I got a hot one for you guys. I'm gonna take you guys through a nice little sampling exercise that you can do when you're trying out samples for your beats. It's a nice exercise that you can get into. That way you can learn how to fit samples over beats. Now normally when you guys see me chop up samples, you see me deal with the sample first, and then I arrange my project to fit whatever I did with the sample, which means I change my BPM to the tempo of the sample and however I arranged it and chopped it. But what you can do is, if you want to get into a nice habit of practicing, chopping and flipping samples, you can go out and lay down a nice drum pattern, and then you can find different samples and try and fit the samples around the drum patterns. That way you get good at chopping, arranging samples, and making samples fit inside of your beats. So I already have a basic drum pattern laid down, just your basic boom bap pattern. We're gonna take a sample, find a piece in the sample, and then we're gonna take it and fit that around the drum pattern that we have, just using a few simple techniques that I've learned while working inside of the MPC software. So make sure you pay close attention to the video, because these techniques will help you guys out a lot, especially if you're a beginner and you're trying to learn how to fit samples around your beats. So without saying too much, let's jump inside the MPC software and check out these techniques. Let's do it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is show you guys just the basic drum pattern that I have laid down on track 1. As I said before, normally you guys see me work with the sample first, and then I create my drums around the sample. But remember, this is just an exercise. That way you can put yourself through it over and over again. So we're going to need a drum pattern laid down already. So that's what I have here, just your basic boom bap, kick, clap, and hi-hat pattern. Check it out. Now I have a sample that's already loaded up. I'm gonna go to sample edit. This is just a nice groovy type of sample. It comes from one of my collection of just digging through samples and finding samples. So I'm gonna play it for you real quick. That way you can kind of see what it sounds like. There's a piece in this sample that I want to work with, and I heard it while I was listening to it. We're gonna find that. That's it right there. We're going to tune that up. Let's tune that up, maybe +3. There we go. That's our loop. We're going to process that, and we're going to extract that from the sample. Okay, let's go to extract, and now we have our new sample ready to go. I'm not going to time stretch it, because remember, this is an exercise and we want to fit the sample around the drums. Now the trick to this is I'm going to chop every single phrase up on a pad. So I'm going to do that with lazy chop. That way I can catch all the different beats in the sample. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so obviously I didn't catch those hits exactly, so we're going to have to go through it and make sure that we have everything exactly where they need to be. So let's do it. Now what this allows me to do is this allows me to play the sample as quick or as slow as I want. I can play it slow. okay, or I can play it fast. So now I can fit the sample around a beat no matter what BPM it is. So let's go on to shift and convert and hit do it. Okay, and then we're going to go to track 2 and put our new program on track 2. Okay, now you can kind of get creative. Remember, this is just an exercise. You're not really trying to make a very, very tight beat. All you're trying to do is get familiar with how to chop samples and place them around drum patterns. So we're just going to go on and just keep this kind of simple, and we're going to place this and fit it around a drum pattern. So let's do it. We have everything in place, and if you notice what I did, as I said before, the way I chopped the sample up on every single hit of the sample, I was able to play this as fast as I want. So I could have slowed the drum pattern down, I could have sped it up, and it still would have made sense. And if you take a look at the BPM, it's 187. Let's speed that up just a little bit to show you what I mean. Let's speed it up. We're going to speed it up to like 195. Okay, so we can pretty much do whatever we want with these chops. As I said before, you can do it time and time again, over and over, to where you get comfortable with fitting pieces of samples around drum patterns. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and mute track 1, which are the drums. We're going to put that on mute. That way we can just hit a sample. Now if you notice, the sample chops are running into each other. Take a listen to just a sample. We need to give the sample a bit of room to breathe. So the way I'm going to do that is, first of all, I'm going to shorten up the long chops. See pad 9, that's a long chop. We're going to go down here on the screen in track 2 in the main page, and we're going to hit edit sample, and we're going to make sure we're on pad 9. Let's play the beat, and we're going to keep shortening it until it fits. So the way you get your chops to fit is just go to your sample edit page, move your start and end points of your chops. That way they start to fit whatever the drum pattern is doing. And then the next thing that you can do is go into program edit. Okay, and then you hit the all button to where you actually highlight all of your pads, because you want to affect every pad. You hit all, and all of your pads light up. That way anything you do on this page now affects all of your pads. We're going to go into the filter tab. And on this page, another technique is to work with the attack and the decay. That way you can kind of shorten up the endings of the sample and shorten up the beginning of the sample to make it fit. So let's do that. First of all, we're going to take the attack up a little bit. That way it smooths out our sample chops. Okay, now we're going to take the decay and we're going to put it all the way up. Okay, now it's going to sound very, very whack, but we're going to slightly release the decay until it starts to fit. So it's going to sound whack at first. Okay, now I'm going to start bringing the decay down a little bit, and it's going to start to fit the beat. Watch how the sample now fits the drum pattern. So if you notice now, the sample has stops in it. It has gaps. If you look at the MIDI grid, it has a gap here to where it stops. It has gaps here. It has a gap here. It has a gap here. So there are little gaps in between that. Now, the best way to fill in gaps is to use some type of an effect. We're going to go on and grab some type of delay. You can use the Akai delay. I'm going to use the Comeback Kid by Baby Audio. This is an absolutely awesome delay. Let's see if we can work with this to kind of fill in the gaps. Now we just took a sample and we fit it around our drums. And the sample doesn't match the time signature. It doesn't match the BPM, but just the way we chopped it, the technique in which we chopped it, and also the techniques that we use with the attack and decay made those chops fit. And we went on ahead and just adjusted a few of the starting and end points of the chops. So these are just a few techniques that you can implement in your beat making process. This is something I used to do a lot of, and it helped me out as a beginner, and it helped me to get very, very familiar with getting samples to fit around certain drum patterns. So give this a try in your own music making process. Make sure you guys practice this over and over again. Rewind the video if you need to, check out some of the things that I did, and make sure that you get into an exercise of doing this. This isn't to make fire beats. It's just to make sure that you become familiar with a concept of how to fit a sample around a drum pattern. And I guarantee you it will help you out in your music making process. If this video helped you out in any way and you got any type of value from it, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. Also drop me a comment below. All of that helps to put this video in the eyes of some of the guys that it absolutely will help. So thank you guys so much for doing that. If you guys want to connect with me in any type of way, or you want to say what's up, send a shout out or anything like that, Instagram is probably the best place to do that. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at The Drink King. Shoot me a DM and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Thanks so much for tuning into the video, guys. This is the kid DZD, aka The Drink King, live from the Dungeon Palace Studios, and I will check you guys in the next video. Peace out.